The issue has been the issue of our colleague, Senator Dino Melaye, a senator of the Federal Republic of Nigeria, being treated like a common criminal. Mr. President, my heart is bleeding. I felt that this Senate have lost its glory and value because of what has happened yesterday. Mr. President, as at 10 o'clock yesterday evening, in company of some of my colleagues, we went to National Hospital to visit one of our own who sustained injury in a scuffle he had with the police. Mr. President, we can't believe that we were not allowed to see our colleague who has been hospitalized. I think it's important, Mr. President, that this issue must be looked into. Because the way it is going, all the security agencies don't have any atom of respect for these senators. Last time I visited our colleague, Senator Peter Mwaboshi, at the EFCC. I saw the sorry condition, how he was kept. And I keep asking myself, can't a senator of the Federal Republic of Nigeria be respected, if not for anything, because he represents a people? We are not here on our own. We are elected by our people to speak for them. And if we are being humanized this way, what is the democracy? I used to know that legislature is the first arm of government. And without the legislature in place, there's no true democracy. And if legislature is being humanized and treated the way we are treated, there's no true democracy in this country. So I think that this issue must be taken very seriously. Mr. President, don't be surprised that some of us have been earmarked already as those they will be invited for questioning by EFCC and all that. But we don't want to afraid. We'll continue to say the truth. But I think it's important that as leadership of this Senate must look at this issue. It's not about Dino, whether you like him or you hate him. It's about this institution. And we must take it very seriously, Mr. President. Understood. Mr. President, I move that this Senate do meet with the leadership of Nigerian police and other security agencies on this matter, on the way, the manners. I invite them at the committee of the whole, at the plenary, to discuss this issue, Mr. President, because this is an affront to democracy. Thank you, Mr. President.
Senator Otazi.
Thank you, Mr. President. I am Senator Chukwuka Otazi. I represent the good people of Enugu North Central District of Enugu State. Mr. President, I join my colleague, Senator Sam Anyanwu, also called Sam Daddy, in a very important point of order. He has drawn the attention of this senator.
Sorry, Senator Otazi, let me just take the leave of our members, because he came under 42 and 52. Yeah, distinguished colleagues, as you've heard, I need the leave for us to take this motion under 42 and 52. Those in favor say aye. Those against say nay. The ayes have it. Carry on.
Thank you, Mr. President. Mr. President, the man dies who keeps quiet in the face of tyranny. The man dies who sees injustice perpetuated and keeps quiet and looks the other way. The man dies when the very tenets and principles of democracy are threatened and we look the other side. The man dies when hired people are rented to go on air every day, including this morning, to come and tell lies, blatant lies against this institution. And people are encouraging insult. The man dies when all of us are sitting here, one member of this Senate is being treated like a common criminal. The man dies in each and every one of us here, that we cannot rise and support democracy and support this institution that the last bastion of hope for all the citizenry of this country. Mr. President, the man dies when the institution that are supposed to guide democracy are being used to coerce and intimidate members of the National Assembly. Mr. President and members of the Senate, our colleague here, Maverick Senator Dino Maleye, has his rights. He has his penchants. He has his character. He has his dispositions to issues. That is Dino for you. But Dino here has been a conscience in this chamber. Has been a conscience of this country. If anybody has any issue with Dino Maleye, I feel that that organization should take the normal procedures and get to the Senate, follow everything, strictly censor, and in order to get Dino to answer questions, especially when we know here that this matter is in the courts of law. Especially when we know that this matter he has been arraigned and he has a legal representation to defend him. Mr. President, Nigerians cannot just stay here because we have a party that is in the other side that doesn't want dialogue instead of that want violence instead of dialogue. Coercion cannot work. I spoke here when the judiciary was invaded. I spoke here from this seat and condemned the way the judiciary was invaded and said it was totally wrong. And I believe so. I spoke from my heart. And I'm speaking from my heart this morning that this is not the way things should be done. If anybody feels opposed to anybody, let's follow the due process. We want parties here. Parties are vehicles for democracy. Parties are vehicles for ventilating the opinion and ideas of the citizenry in pursuit of power to control power and do good to everybody. Mr. President, I don't feel that the way and manner has been handled is the best way to handle it. Is belittling, is demeaning. All of us are demeaned in the person, in the way Dino is handled. That's not the way it should be done. And I rise and join for voicing with my colleague here that the security agencies, and i.e. the police, the DSS, should be here to explain the whereabouts of Dino and explain why he should be handled the way he's being handled. A sitting and a serving senator, handled like just a common criminal on the street that way. That is condemnable and is condemned. And I speak here from my heart, and for him and for all of us here, that we have to defend democracy. And I have the rights, the rights of common people in this way must be upheld. Not just Dino, any other person. We must obey the course of law and the orders they make. That's part of democracy. It's not only when the judiciary is saying, making orders that to please the government. No. When they make orders that they don't suit, they take it. That is what it should be. And we have to follow this because this matter is in the court already. And anybody who is acting outside this is now taking laws into his hand and is condemned by my person here. I thank you, Mr. President.
Senator Samisa.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman, Mr. President, my distinguished colleagues. Senator Comrade Issa Hama Misau, representing the good people of Bauchi Central. Mr. President, when this matter started, I brought the issue here at the plenary where I said there is impending crisis in Kogi State based on the press statement by the police public relations officer, where they said this matter will be tried in Kogi. Mr. President, even in the statement of the police, it was allegation. An allegation does not mean this person is guilty. Even yesterday when Dino Maleye reported himself to the police, some media organizations started sending messages that Dino Maleye will be taken to Kogi and be paraded with those criminals that made those allegations. It's totally wrong. This matter is in court. And even the procedure in the police is, when you are not comfortable, when your case is reported to a DPO, that means in a division, if you are not comfortable, you have every right to say, I'm not comfortable with that DPO, let the matter be taken.
Senator Rafi Ibrahim and Senator Oluremi Tinubu, we have one chamber. If you need something, you can discuss in the tea room. Carry on, Senator Isamuson.
There is procedure for this. Because even in a division, when you take matter to DPO, if you are not comfortable with the way the DPO handles the matter, you have every right to take it to area commander. From the area commander, maybe who is controlling about 3 local governments or 4 local governments. If you are not comfortable, you can take it to the Commissioner of Police, or from Commissioner of Police to AIG. From AIG, you can take it to the AIG's office. And in this matter, even based on the press statement of the police, they said this matter took place along Airport Road. If this matter, there is jurisdiction in everything. And this man said, and Senator Dino said, there is every tendency that when they take him to Kogi, there will be breakdown of law and order. And we know what is happening in Kogi. Even this chamber right now is investigating cases about Kogi, more than 4 committees, ad hoc committees concerning Kogi. Why must the police insist that they must take somebody where if there is breakdown of law and order in Kogi and resulted to maybe loss of life and property? What will the police say? The police is a federal police. They can decide to take this matter in Abuja, clearly where everybody will see. What is the interest in saying that you must force somebody to take him to Kogi? And this is a sitting senator. What we are doing is not good. It is an injustice. And if we continue to say we are going to swallow when we see maybe it's happening to somebody that we don't like and we keep quiet, tomorrow, I said it. When we started this thing, I said, when I met here in this chamber, I said this thing will fall on so many people. Because this thing started with me. When I made my own views. And here, people started taking me to 3 courts. And when matter is in court, why won't we wait for the judge to decide? There is not any arrest warrant from the judge. Why is the police so take this? That is, even when the DIG, in this ad hoc committee that we are investigating matter of Ogembe, even when the DIG came, the DIG apologized concerning what happened in Kogi. And we tell him, and I told him, that please try as much as possible. Nigerians are watching Kogi. People are seeing that the police in Kogi, they have taken side. I told him, try and convey this message to the IG. Because it's not good always in the news, Kogi, Kogi, Kogi. And now, if they take him to court, if supporters of Dino come out and the supporters of the government or supporters of any other person which results to killing people, what are we doing? Is it because of this matter? I was with Sam Ayaw yesterday when we went to National Hospital. It's our colleague. We have every right to see him. We have every right to look at his condition. But the police said they are taking order from somewhere that they are not going to allow us to see. We even called the CMD of the hospital. He said the order is from above. Which one is above? When we have so many cases in Benue, Zamfara, and all those things, and we need to, if you see the number of policemen, about 100 policemen in the hospital, it's uncalled for. If we have this strength in the police that we can dedicate about 100 policemen to one person on allegation, why can't we move those policemen to Zamfara or to Benue, where killings are taking place every day? So if we don't fight for injustice, we are killing our democracy, because I feel this one is not right, and we have to condemn it. No matter the side, whether you like him or you don't like him, it is an issue that has to do with human being. It is an issue that has to do with our democracy. It is the issue that has to do with fundamental human rights. And today, even somebody came to my office before I came. That was the reason why I didn't come on time. They said the Senate President of Czech Republic wanted to come to Nigeria, and it's because 2 issues that he's discussing about whether he's free to come. He's talking about the stealing of the maize, and he's talking about Dino Melaya. They came to my office before I came here. Already it is attracting negative in the international community, because today we are not restricted to only Nigeria. Whatever we do is being translated everywhere in the world. And for us, whatever we think that we are discrediting maybe a senator or the senator, we are discrediting our own country. Because anywhere we go, this is the first, and even people that are supporting this, when we go, they are calling senators. They don't say, this is the good senator. When they call senator, we are talking about the institution, we are talking about it. When we ridicule ourselves, we are ridiculing the country. Those people that are doing eye service, thinking that they are trying to portray or do eye service to other people and show them that they are doing good work for them is totally bad for the country. And it's unfortunate this thing is happening in Nigeria when people have worked hard to bring this democracy, when some people are trying to drill this thing and bring chaos in the society. It's unfortunate, and we have to condemn it, whether we like the person or we don't like the person. We are talking about our constitution. We have to follow due process. Whatever we are going to do, if we don't follow due process, we will end up rubbishing whatever we have done for the past 18 years in this democracy. Thank you very much.
Senator Gobri.
Thank you very much, Your Excellency and distinguished colleagues. You see, to be candid, I'm even worried because I don't know even what to say. I was there at Zankli Hospital, and by the time I reached there, I saw the whole place was condoned with the police, well armed, everywhere. Then when my driver came in, somebody asked us, where were you going? I said, to the hospital because I have a patient. Then he said, my driver made a mistake and said, is it a war? The man said, yes, they were there for war. Then I told my driver, don't say anything, just park the car. He parked the car, we came out, then he was talking to me. I pretended I did not hear him. Then he mentioned it again that they are here for war. I said, you have war and you continue with the war. I'm not here for war. I have a patient. So when I entered there, they refused to allow any person to see him. I think it was only the police chairman, together with Kaka. I think they entered. By the time you were coming out, I was coming in. You see, if you saw the kind of human treatment on that person, you will shed tears to see a serving senator being treated the way that guy was being treated on that day. In fact, we said we wanted to go in. They said, no, we should wait. I did not tell them who I was, of course. So later, they said they were taking him to National Hospital. In fact, they brought him on a stretcher. I saw Dino. It was terrible. It's not a good sight. I'm telling you this. So if you look at the condition, I mean chapter 4, totally all the chapter 4, which is section 33, right to life, Dino has no right to life now. Nobody knows what is going to happen to him. He was not breathing when they brought him out. He was not. Then if you look at this one, right to dignity of human rights, there is no right to dignity there. Nothing. Because he has been, that dignity has been violated, totally. Then if you look at the other section that talked about the right to personal liberty, it's not there. There is no personal liberty. Everything of this has been violated by the police. So I think we have to take action. It's a very serious issue. This is happening to Dino. Tomorrow you don't know who it's going to happen to. I'm telling you this. They are going to pick senators one by one and they are going to do this. So I think we have to wake up. It's a wake-up call.
Senator Aliro.
Thank you, Mr. President, my distinguished colleagues. I remain Mohammed Adam Aliro, representing KB Central. Mr. President, today is a very bad day for the Senate. When one of us is being humiliated, when one of us has been embarrassed, and an attack on one should be an attack on all. I want us to see it in that light, because whatever the offense Dino committed, he ought to be given the right to life, the right to human dignity, the right to decency. Mr. President, I frowned at the way Dino was arrested. Dino comes to the National Assembly virtually every day. I don't know why the police had to wait till he goes to the airport to go and perform official duty. He was arrested, embarrassed, and put in a truck and taken to SAS, where common criminals like armed robbers are being put. That is where they intended to take him. Mr. President, if this thing can happen to a senator, what more of ordinary Nigerians? So the rule of law, due process, is completely violated. And I want us to see it in that light. We should come out and speak the truth and nothing but the truth. National Assembly is the symbol of democracy anywhere in the world. If this can happen to a serving senator, then it's unfortunate. The ordinary people of Nigeria will continue to suffer. This is the time for us to come out and condemn what happened. Mr. President, not only that, today a committee should be set up before the end of this session to go and see Dino, to ascertain his condition of health, and if medical treatment given to me is not adequate, we should ask for immediate evacuation to a better place where he can get medical care. Before we end the discussion, this should be done, Mr. President. Thank you very much.
Senator Shehu Sani.
Mr. President, I stand as Senator Shehu Sani to add my voice to the topic on discussions today. Mr. President, I am deeply concerned about the systematic pattern of violation of fundamental human rights in this country. We have seen an increasing age towards a totalitarian state. Peaceful protesters are crushed with force. Court orders are violated. An onslaught against democratic institutions, and also a clear breach and consistent erosion of our democratic values. My main concern is this: whatever we do today because we are in power, we may also be at the receiving end tomorrow. We should know that power is transient. Where was Gowon, who ruled Nigeria for 9 years? Where was Obasanjo, who ruled Nigeria for over 11 years? Where is Babangida, who ruled Nigeria for 8 years? Where is Abacha for 5 years? Where is Jonathan for 5 years? Where is Umaru Musa Yar'Adua? I think we should understand that power is temporary. It's temporary. Power is an opportunity for you to serve, to make positive impact in the lives of your people. Whatever you do in the course of application of levers of power, there will always be a karma for it. What we saw yesterday about Dino Melaye is not going to be the history of Dino Melaye. It's going to be the history of Nigeria's democracy. It's going to be the history of the 8th National Assembly. And it's going to be the history of the government in power today. My main concern is when people are in power, they forget that there will be tomorrow. They forget that there will be life after power. If you use the levers of power to persecute people, to arrest people, to frame people, to intimidate and jail people, you should understand that life after power is longer than life in power. Our main concern, our democracy is consistently falling apart. If this can happen to a sitting senator, it can happen to all of us. You may be in the good books of the people in power today, and such things may have not happened to you. But whatever position you take today will be a record if it happens to you tomorrow. This is not the best of time for people to speak out the truth, especially people in the position of power, for the obvious reasons that people may be targeted, and election season is at hand, and people want their tickets back. But I think we should understand that not only power, life itself is temporary. Where are our colleagues here? 3 of them. Where are they today? Who gave you the assurance that you will be up to 2019? The average age of people who are here today are 50 to 55 years. In 20 years, you will be in your 70s or 80s. So where is the permanence in power? Mr. President, what happened to Dino today, or yesterday, or the day before yesterday, is an onslaught on democracy. For people like us, I know very well I'm also a target, and I will fall into the situation of Dino, but I'm not bothered. I'm not bothered about that. What bothers me is to state the truth as it is. He has said it consistently here, that he said the truth, he died. You don't say the truth, he died. That is a fact. But we should be watchful in the way we use power, the way we apply power to people who are not in the position of power. There were people who were in power yesterday, surrounded by all security men. They have their disposal money as state security apparatus with them. Today they go to courts alone. There is nobody to speak for them. There is nobody to stand for them. The fortresses of power has gone. When God gave us this power, it is for us to use it for the betterment, the progress, and the prosperity of our country. What we are seeing today is a shame to our country. But my main concern is the fact that these were the very issues most of us spoke against in the last 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, and 10 years. We always make references of the past, of the corruption, the human rights violation, the cruelty, the persecution that happened in this country for over a decade and a half. Here we are today, being accused of what we have been speaking against for over 2 decades or 2. It may be convenient for us to stand up here and sing the praises, either out of fear or calling for favor. But we should know, whatever is not done on the foundation of truth will certainly collapse. Amen. Do you know, as it is today, for how long he will serve in that place, a dark cloud of guilt will be hanging over the horizon of Nigeria. But the very fact that he represents a people. There are people today who are in power, who have forgotten those who suffered, those who sacrificed to bring them where they are. It's not simply about the opposition, but this is the reality even within the ruling establishment. People who have worked and have sacrificed their life and resources to see the change we have experienced today, if at all there is any, have consistently and erroneously been tagged or targeted as enemies of the president. How can people who have suffered, who have worked to bring a president they believed in into power, from day one, they started being targeted as being enemies of the president? I think we should understand ourselves very well. That if we continue on this path, we are certainly heading to perdition. And we shouldn't deceive ourselves. We have seen how nations of the world that claim to be democratic demonstrated in no mean terms symptoms of tyranny that led to the collapse of such countries. Dino Melaye is a victim today. But as it's been said by Senator Alero, an attack on one is an attack on all. You may be in the good books of the government of today. I've had people outside justifying what is happening to the parliament today. If you are happy that the parliamentarians of today are being haunted, are being attacked, are being persecuted because you don't like their faces, tomorrow there will be a parliament you like and with a president you don't like. And I will say it to all of us here. The opportunity of being here is a phase in our lives. For those of you who want to remain here permanently, and for those of us who see this place as a phase in our lives, we know that the history that we will be judged with are two: our collective history as a parliament and our individual history. But this Senate and this parliament must stand firm and speak the truth, because you will not be judged by the favors you think you will get today. You will not be judged by the promises that is made to you. You'll be judged by which position did you take when democracy is being attacked. I said this is a difficult moment for people to speak the truth. It's a difficult time. A difficult time. Many people, when you bring controversial issues at this very time, they will prefer to remain silent. Or they will bury their heads in the sand, hoping that the issue will go away. But I think we should be man enough. When you are elected to be a senator of the Federal Republic of Nigeria, you are duty-bound, morally and constitutionally, to stand in the defense of freedom and justice. You must speak truth to power when it is wrong. And I called on this Senate to stand firm. What has happened to one of us can happen to all of us. And I thank you very much for this opportunity.
Senator Shitu.
Thank you very much, Mr. President. Distinguished colleagues. I remain Senator Mohammed Ubali Shitu, representing Jigawa Northeast. Today is another sad moment. Last time it was war against the judiciary. Today it is war against the National Assembly. Similar incidents happened in 1984 when the government of the day decided to act the way it acted. And that brought about the end of the government. Today is yours, tomorrow may not be yours. It is good to treat everybody justly and equitably. It is good to treat people on merit. Everybody has right to freedom. Everybody has right to fair play. Everybody has right to be treated according to the law. The law is being used against people who are perceived to be enemies. It is not easy. You fight for change. And this is the type of change we are witnessing today. Because you speak the truth. I know because of what I spoke today, I can be killed. I don't mind being killed. It is good for one to speak truth and be killed. I'm waiting for somebody to come and kill me tomorrow because I speak the truth. What is happening to us is not true and is not fair. We have right to our opinion And we have even immunity to speak in the chambers, our opinions. Everybody is being targeted. You read papers everywhere. Everybody is abusing the National Assembly members as if we are the enemies of the nation. We are not enemies. We are representatives of the people, and we are standing for the people, and we should speak the truth. We should condemn in totality what is happening. What is happening is not a change. It's a retrogressive act. It's not fair. You have a serving senator, and you have the procedure. Even a serving senator cannot be treated according to procedure. What a common man. If this is changed, I doubt if I can continue under this kind of environment. And I believe a number of people share similar opinion with me. This is no change. We didn't vote this government to be maltreated. We didn't vote this government for us to abuse court process, to abuse procedures. Is not fair. We advise government to change before it is late. Because I know God is for the honor of the hyena and the honor of the goat. Today is yours. Tomorrow may not be yours. So I will join other colleagues in asking for the total condemnation and setting up a committee to invite all those responsible to speak to us, and we will make it public for everybody to see what transpired. Thank you very, very much.
Yes, Senator Ledani.
Thank you, Mr. President. My name is Joshua Ledani, representing Gombe South. These are indeed very sad times for the National Assembly. Only last week, last Wednesday, the National Assembly or the Senate was assaulted in a very brazen manner. We are still recovering from the wounds of that episode. And now we are having another traumatic episode happening to one of our colleagues. Dino Melai has been a very vocal person in this Senate. He has rubbed some of us the wrong way. Some of us may not like him. Some of us may not like the style that he uses. Some of us may like it. But this is one individual. And all of us have our own individual weaknesses, we have our own individual strengths. But that is not enough reason for him to be treated the way he's being treated. In a degrading and dehumanizing manner, Mr. President. Degrading and dehumanizing manner. Every senator here should have a feeling of humiliation for what is happening to Dino Melai. It's happening to him, yes. Tomorrow it could happen to me. It could happen to anybody. So it's a time for us to rise to this occasion. There is a growing climate of fear in this country, Mr. President. And the citizen is being traumatized. People are being intimidated. The only body that could represent the voices of the people is also being targeted. I don't want to go into the merits or otherwise of what Dino did or what he didn't do. The fact is that it is very glaring for everybody to see that Dino is being subjected to an inhuman and degrading treatment. And everybody, every citizen, should feel a sense of shame about what is happening. And especially we members of the National Assembly, especially we members of the Senate, should feel that what is happening to Dino is affecting us as a collective body. So, Mr. President, I think all of us should rise and condemn what is happening. It is not right, even if you go by the procedure. If he committed an offense, there's a way you invite him. You invite him. If he refuses to attend, then you arrest him. And the way he was arrested the way he was treated, and all kinds of stories surrounding whether it was escape or whether he was pushed. All these things are things that shouldn't have happened in the first place. So I think, Mr. President, we should set up a committee to investigate this matter thoroughly, but we should condemn what happened, and then we should demand access for the senators or a committee set up by the Senate to go and see Mr. Milai wherever he is and ascertain the true state of his health and then report back to the Senate for us to recommend measures to take. I think, Mr. President, at this point in time in our history, never has the National Assembly, never has the Parliament been attacked in so brazen and very, very, very despicable manner. I think we should rise to the occasion, and I think we should condemn what is happening. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Mr. President. I remain Senator Dr. Abdullahi Adamu, and CON, and I represent the good and the bad people of Nasarawa State, Western Senatorial District. Mr. President, I stand to make my own intervention on this very, very emotional situation that we are addressing as the Senate of the Federal Republic of Nigeria. The human being in me, and I'm sure in most of us here, admit the fact that on what one has seen in the pictures, because I've not been one of those who went to the hospital to see the condition of our colleague. Nobody in good conscience will say he is happy to see his colleague, his brother, in the situation in which is being described by those who saw him. In moments like this, it's not a matter of what he did or didn't do on the floor of this hollow chamber. The way in which he did it is not the issue at this point in time. I think the issue now is, how do we get him out of the situation he is in? My own little wisdom, and because I have been in detention, not once, not twice, not 3 times, I know, or I can imagine, the trauma this colleague of ours is in. I don't believe we help the situation at this moment of time, of his condition. There has been enough expression of emotions in support of this colleague. I think the concentration now, the emphasis now, should be, what can we do as colleagues to get him out of this present predicament that he's in? The outpouring of confrontational language does not help us in this situation, does not help him. Here we are in the comfort of this chamber, and with the immunity that we enjoy in this chamber, to say the things that have been said. It does not help his situation now. I would rather, with due respect to my colleagues, we develop, as one of the colleagues did suggest a while ago, have a delegation, official delegation. Know where he is, visit him, and then see how best we can talk to the appropriate authority concerned with the situation to see how he gets released. That is what is priority, and not this grandstanding or emotion that we're expressing. That's my short but precise suggestion, Mr. Chairman.
Distinguished colleagues, before we move to prayer, unless somebody has something that's of contrary opinion, that is, his or our views are different from this, then I'll proceed to prayers. The prayer, you have contrary opinion? You stand up and address me. Yes.
My name is Senator Oluremi Tinubu, representing Lagos Central Senatorial District. Like you said, I'm not contrary to what has been contributed in support of Dino, our colleague, and what happened. But what I am not in support is we should address issues. And when we begin to implicate different issues, like I remember Senator Otazi was saying, and the man died, and the man died. I'm not a lawyer, and I'm a scientist. So, and I'll rather face the issue. And if we are talking about a particular issue, we should stay with it. But when we begin to bring a government that a lot of people also supported to be here, to use whatever happened as to implicate the government, I think, I think I'm against that. We should face the issue. I'm not in support of what happened to Dino. And immediately that Omar Gege has been led away by police, you will know that the sanctity of this place has been invaded upon. And if anybody will be taken away, it has set an example. Because whatever happens here, we should be able to take it as good statesmen and women to address it intimately. And if we have anything with the executive, we have leadership here who are supposed to go there and meet with Mr. President, which I believe in the past you have been doing. But we should face the issue and treat the issue, because this government is only just have been 3 years of 16 years of rot. It has only been in power for 3 years and inherited a lot of trouble. And just yesterday we saw what happened in Benue with the priest. We have to discuss that as well. And that is my worry. And the people out there are watching us and they are listening to us. And they need protection, just like the people in here need protection. The average man outside also needs protection. And if what happened with the correspondence from the president today that we will debate later, we will see certain things has to be done and has to be put in place. So those are the things. The safety of the people is important, and I think it's in this constitution. Thank you, Mr. President.
The prayer one says, invite, this is a prayer that's come with a motion. It says, invite the IGP to brief the Senate and the Committee of the Whole on the poor treatment of Senator Dino over a case that is in court or competent jurisdiction. This is prayer one. Any other additional prayer that I just take it?
Yes.
Yes, and tomorrow we're on. Senator Mawabon. Go ahead. Oh, yeah, also. Let me put the first quest prayer, then we can take it. Those in favor of prayer one say aye. Those against say nay. The ayes have it. Additional prayer.
Yes, Mr. President, my name is Senator Ma Aruko Wabunwabi Not. I've been raising my hand to speak, but maybe you didn't catch my look this way. But Mr. President, my additional prayer is simple, but I want to go to it by this way. Mr. President, what is happening is very sad. We cannot, only when we lose somebody, then we adjourn and say we are joining, or we are making, we are giving date of tribute. I don't think it's right. There couldn't have been anything worse than this that is happening today. It's Dino today, it could be any person tomorrow. And I don't think if this was happening earlier, all these distinguished men and women here, former governors, will want to come to this place. Because if you desecrate and denigrate this place, when we are being prosecuted, it's not one person that is being prosecuted, it's the Senate that is being prosecuted. So, Mr. President, on that note, I'm standing here to move that this Senate, for now, move from here to go and see Dino. Let's adjourn. We need to adjourn, because when we lose somebody, we adjourn. So I'm saying that we should adjourn and go here to see our colleague, like Senator Abdul Adamu has said, ascertain where is Dino. Is he alive? Is he existing? Because we are just speaking, we don't even know. Rumors are coming that he's taken on which stretcher to Kogi. We don't even know. So my amendment and my additional prayer is that we should adjourn, ascertain the position of Dino, and get the police to brief us on the position of Dino. Thank you, Mr. President.
Any seconder? No. Senator Sani Ugoju.
Mr. President, distinguished colleagues, my name is Senator Sani Ugoju South. I rise to second the Additional prayer ably moved by distinguished Senator Mao Ohuabunwa. I so second.
Yes, leader. Distinguished colleagues, those in favor of the additional prayer say aye. Aye. Those against say nay. The ayes have it. Now, distinguished colleagues, I know that the emotions are very unrightly so. I think the information leader wanted to pass, I can't read minds, but I'll try and read his mind, is that this morning, part of when we came in as leadership, we were very concerned. And we had sent our deputy leader and the two to go and look for Dino. But with the emotions that I can see, I guess it has gone beyond us sending representatives. That was why I think that's what, leader, am I right? That's what you wanted to say, to pass that information there. But I can appreciate the emotions that have transpired in that area. Secondly, I think also because the importance of this, the issue of the IGP briefing us should be immediate, and that should be tomorrow. And leader and chairman, police should do that. I want to thank all those who contributed. I know that in times like this, it is very difficult sometimes to speak the truth, because it is clear that this definitely is not only seen as a violation on one, it's a violation all of us. Not only all of us, this institution and this our democracy. And these actions, whether we want to admit it or not, is a threat to this democracy we're all fighting for. The excesses must be contained in the interest of all of us. We're about to start a period of elections, and if these are the kind of excesses of those who are meant to be responsible for providing law and order, there's great concern in this country today. And those who are directly responsible need to know that this is responsibility. Today, Senator Akume, I was talking to him. He's not here because of what happened in Benue. He's asked me tomorrow, because I wanted to take the matter today, that he'll be here tomorrow to take the issue. This is also about law and order. And as such, we must all condemn this action. This is not where we should be spending our energy on. These are not, definitely are not a member, somebody who is a senator or an individual in this country today. So it is important that the IGP, even me for the last 48 hours, I have not been able to reach the IGP. I have tried so many times to find out what is the situation. I think that is not a disrespect to me as an individual, but to this institution. To this institution. Because we cannot talk about security without collaboration with the legislation. And this kind of attitude must stop if we truly want to sustain and create an enabling environment. As we all said, we're not talking about the merits of what he did or did not do. There's procedures and there are ways of finding this out. So, two things is: one, to ascertain his state of mind, ascertain his situation, and also to find a way out quickly, to find a solution to this problem, so can restore sanity. With the motion that has come, that has been passed, I think at that point that after we do our job, I can see that the deputy leader has come in, so that we can hear his feedback. It's important. Deputy Leader, yeah.
Thank you very much, my distinguished colleagues, and thank you for the privilege of sending me on this assignment. On this assignment, we have the Deputy Whip and then the Deputy Minority Whip too. Leader, sorry. We went to the National Hospital this morning where Senator Dino was alleged to have been kept from yesterday, and we confirmed that he was brought yesterday at about 11 o'clock at night. We spoke to the doctor who is the trauma surgeon in charge of the ICU, and then the medical director himself, the CMD. And the assurance we have is that they are doing whatever is humanly possible to stabilize him. But currently he's in the intensive care unit. Yes, sir. And they have given us assurance that whatever is humanly possible is being done to stabilize him. We tried as much as we can to see him, but that the instruction that was left was that only Senator Abu Ibrahim is allowed to see, and Senator Kaka. Senator Kaka and Abu Ibrahim have been given the permission to see him by the police. The IG. Wait. And as at the time we were leaving the hospital, there is only one issue that is a bit worrisome, in the sense that the feeding of Dino has become an issue because the police are not willing to feed him because of the situation. They are afraid of offering to feed him. The National Hospital have equally expressed reservation over feeding Senator Dino. So, but with the wait, let me finish. But before we left, we were assisted greatly to have a discussion on the way forward, in view of the fact that there is a medical personnel, again, who is an AIG from the police, who is working together with the trauma surgeon who is handling Dino. And it was agreed that if there is a way they can arrange for food from any source, but that the condition is that whoever is bringing the food must taste both the drink and the food before it's given. And we have, I'm only telling you, you see, you send me on an assignment. I'm giving you the factual situation. I'm just giving you the factual situation. And in conclusion, we agreed that immediately the Deputy Chief of Staff should try as much as he can to get in touch with people who can provide food for Dino. Now, when we were leaving, there was a report that Dino has asthma. So a chest surgeon was the one seeing him as at the time we were leaving. And so they were taking the implications one by one to sort out. But we have assurance that they will do whatever is humanly possible to stabilize him between now and possibly in the next 4 or 5 days. Wait, listen, the last report which I must report here, the last report which I must say is that there was insistence to remove him from the National Hospital. And I think the National Hospital said, well, if you are taking him, you must sign on that taking for us, that whatever happens is on your own. And I think that's what is keeping the idea. And that's why nobody is willing to sign. Otherwise, I think he will have been moved to elsewhere. We don't know. But this is the factual report that we got from the National Hospital. Senator Buacha or Senator Alemekana, if you want to add anything from what I have said or what I have omitted, you are free to do so. Thank you.
Yes, Senator Alemekana, you want to add something then?
Thank you. I don't want to clarify about this food issue. They said since yesterday has not eaten. But
Now, because the police said they cannot give him food because they will say the police they will not trust their food and the hospital will not trust their food. Dino has mentioned 2 of his cooks that they can bring food. And again, they said we should reach out to those cooks so that they can prepare food and send to him. Because it's very important that he must eat. Because if he doesn't eat, the drug will not even work on him. So I don't want to say that one. So that we can send, we have already told the DCOS, if we can get in touch with those ones, to prepare food and send to them. Before in say when they come, they will taste it and all the rest.
Yes. Senator Bali, yeah, Senator.
Thank you very much, Mr. President. I would like to advise that we also summon the medical director of
Senator Kabiruga.
Mr. President, Mr. President, my distinguished colleagues, I'm Kabiruga from Kano South. Mr. President, this is sad. There was just a motion moved that we should adjourn, and I'm proposing that Senate President, yourself, and some team of medical doctors who are in this Senate follow you right away to go to that hospital and confirm the situation. Just a minute. No, it will, sir, let me run. It will be rowdy for all of us to go. Even the Senate leader couldn't get in. Let the Senate President go with some other medical doctors that are here to inspect our reports immediately. We should adjourn now for that, sir. We should adjourn. Fine.
Distinguished colleagues, any additional Senator Guy, you know we've already carried, the motion has been carried on that, which
Based on the motion, sir, then you lead us to go all together.
any additional okay, Leader of Senate.
Mr. President, very distinguished colleagues, based on the resolutions passed by the Senate, I move that we stand down all the items on the order paper till another legislative day.
Mr. President, distinguished colleagues, I rise to second the motion that we suspend the remaining items on the order paper for another legislative day. I so second.
Before, distinguished colleagues, before I put the question, just to re-emphasize the point that tomorrow morning by 11 a.m., Senator Abu Ibrahim, by the motion resolved here, the IG should be here to address us in plenary. We take the issue of Senator Dino. I will also use that opportunity to take these recent also killings in the last 1 week of close to 100 in the country. At 11 o'clock a.m. Clerk, because of the importance of it, please inform your coverage people. You should be live tomorrow to discuss the issue of security in the country. I put the question. Those in favor of the motion that we hereby adjourn, say aye. Those against say nay. The ayes have it. Sorry, the motion was to stand down all other items. Those in favor that will stand down all other items on the other paper say aye. Those against say nay. The ayes have it. Leader of the Senate.
Mr. President, very distinguished colleagues, having concluded today's proceedings on the order paper, I hereby move that the Senate do adjourn till tomorrow, the 26th of April 2018 at 10 a.m. prompt.
Yes, we are going. We are meeting at the buses will be here by the White House. Sorry, the new building. Now.
Mr. President, very distinguished colleagues, I rise to second the motion that the Senate do adjourn for tomorrow, being 26 at 10 a.m. I so second, Mr. President.
Distinguished colleagues, those in favor that the Senate adjourn to Thursday, 26 April 2018, 10 a.m. prompt, say aye. Those against say nay. The ayes have it. The Senate is hereby adjourned to Thursday, 26 April 2018, 10 a.m. prompt.